Hello everyone and welcome to a new video of Firepower Threat Defense series. In last video we started our file and malware control policy stuff. So in this video let's talk more about it. So today we'll talk about first the advanced section under the file and malware control policy. First checkbox, first time file analysis. So if a file has been seen, for the first time by the FTD, it does not have a disposition, it does not have a signature for it, then this option, what this option does, this option says you can start the local analysis of the file before you send it to the Cisco cloud for the analysis. Okay. Or if the disposition has not come from yet, you can also initiate your own local analysis on the file. Enable custom detection list. This says this is a list within the FMC where if you add the SHA-256 hash of the file, then that is always classified as malicious. Okay. It's like statically giving it a disposition. Clean list. If you add the SHA-256 hash of a file to the clean list, then it is always considered as not malicious. Okay. Now you can also, override the disposition of a file if AMP cloud returned unknown, but it's not recommended. You should wait for the disposition from the cloud, but you can select an option from here based upon the threat score of the file, and then you can change the disposition. Now, archive file inspections. Archive file inspection is for the basically the files which are zipped or the archive formats. Inspect archives. Yes, I want to inspect the archives. So what will happen if you do inspect archives? If there is a zip file coming, FTD will open the zip file and see what is the content inside. Block what it might be an exe coming inside a zip. Okay, in that case, it is very important if you are blocking the exes. Now block encrypted archives. If archive file is password protected, like I put a password on the zip, FTD will say, no, I cannot look inside. I'll drop it straight away because you cannot provide password for each file to the FTD. There is no way to do it. And also, the thing is, uh, I would say it's just not the practical. Okay, FTD cannot guess the password. It will take a lot of time, probably dictionary attacks to guess the password. Now, block uninspectable archives, unsupported archives, which FTD does not support. They all will be blocked. Okay. Archive max depth. This is a very good feature. Okay. Suppose you have a zip file. Inside that you have an exe. Okay. That will have archive depth of 0. If you have a zip file, inside that you have another zip file, and inside that zip file you have an exe. It will be one depth. Okay. One depth. Similarly, under that zip 2, under that zip 3. That's it. That's still where FTD can go. Okay. Enter a value between 1 and 3. You can see it's clearly written here. I would say 1 is fine for me because the more you look inside, the more load you put on the box. Okay. So be very careful when you start dealing with these policies and what you are trying to achieve. If you have a very powerful box, fine. If you have a less powerful box, you put a lot of load on it, performance issues straight away. Okay. Let's say whatever settings we made. Now, yes, that's fine. I just want to leave. Okay. I got my connection got timed out. Let me just log in. Okay. Now, after this, I wanted to show you, we saw the two options, custom detection and the clean list. I'll show you where those lists are. You cannot create custom detection or custom clean list. Okay. There is no option. There is already one created. You need to add the SHA-256 hash of the file in there. In order to do that, go to objects, go to object management, and then there was an option file list. You see, you cannot create a file list. There is no option, but there is only one list which you can, handle in terms of clean. We have clean list firewall. We have custom detection list firewall for the firewall domains. Okay. These are inherited from their respective parent domain. So firewall has parent as customer and customer has parent as global. This is under the global. You can see this. writing here of the about the domains as well. Now, suppose I want to add a file to clean list. Clean list means it will always be considered clean. Okay. Custom detection means it will always be considered malicious. Okay, verdict malicious straight away because it's under custom detection list. Clean list, edit the list. If you have SHA-256 value, just straight away enter the value, click on add, it will be shown here. And you can add a description about the SHA entry. You can say, okay, this was a specific malicious file. Enter the description, add the SHA-256, add, and it will be added. Okay. Now, if you don't know the SHA-256, then what you can do, click here. You say calculate SHA, put a description, upload the file. Like, let me just choose any file. Let's take this Firefox PDF. What file I want to put? Yeah, this is fine. I'll put this PDF. I'll say calculate and add SHA. See, file name, which I selected. SHA was calculated. It was added. Now, this file will always be considered clean. Similarly, you can add the files to the custom detection list as well. Click on it. The ways, two ways. Add the SHA or add the calculate the SHA. Upload the file. It will take care of it. These were the two options. Okay, now let's go to policies, access control. I want to show you some more options before we create our first rule because you need to be ready on the box before you can start this stuff because it might have performance impact based on the way you implement these settings. Go to advanced. Under the advanced, we'll talk about all these settings later on. But for this video, we are going to focus on file and malware settings section. Edit this section. Now you see all these values. Let's talk about them. Limit the number of bytes inspected when doing file type detection. Okay, when FTD will be detecting what is the type of the file, is it a PDF, is it a exe, or is it a text file, docx, ppt, whatever is supported. In order to detect the file type, FTD will look at 1460 bytes of the data. Okay, first 1460 bytes. These number of bytes will be inspected in order to doing the file type detection. You can increase the value. There is a limit. If I click on this help here, I think it shows what is the minimum and the maximum value. You see 0 to 4 gigs. 0 to 30 seconds for this, 0 to 4 gigs, 0 to 10 MB, 0 to 10 MB. These are the, minimum and the maximum values. This is a very good option to learn about the features when you don't know about them. Read, but you should already have some knowledge about them. Okay. Do not calculate SHA-256 hash values for files larger than, this is 10 MB. Set to 10 MB. And we can go till 10 MB. Allow file if cloud lookup for block malware action takes longer than 2 seconds. If I have set the action to block malware and the cloud lookup is taking more than 2 seconds, I'll say, I'm allowing the file. You can go up to maximum 30 seconds. Minimum file size for advanced file inspection and storage. Okay, if you want to store, minimum should be 6144 bytes. Maximum file size should be, this is 1 MB. Mine is set to 1 MB. I can set it to 10 MB, just increasing a zero before. Minimum file size for dynamic analysis testing. Okay, is this maximum size for dynamic analysis testing is again set to 1 MB. See, see why this file size is always set to lower is there is a reason for it. Who would like their malware to be delivered in a 10 gig file? It will take a lot of time to deliver the malware in that case. Okay, that's why malwares are delivered in small payloads like 1 MB malware delivered, 2 MB malware delivered. Okay, that's what happens. Or either it will be compressed and then put it to, because I want my malware to be delivered quickly. I don't want 10 hours for someone if has a slow connection to deliver a malware to that. That's why it's always on a low value. Okay, it doesn't say okay 10 gigs. No, firewall has resources. It will die of resources if it starts focusing all of its resources just to do one job. Okay, that's fine. Now cancel this. Go to policies, go to malware and file policy, and let's do some stuff. We created a policy. We have looked at a few things which are required for the policy. Let's add our first rule. In my first rule, I want to detect files. Okay. What files I want to detect? I want to detect if there is any PPTX files coming. Okay. Any protocol, direction of transfer, I'm going to set download. I don't want to store the files. I'll say add. So PPTX should be detected. Now let's take another file type. Direction of transfer, I'll say download any. This time I want to block. What files I want to block along with reset connection? I can uncheck if I want. I want to block all the exe files. No exe should pass. Either it is good or bad. Now, next section, add rule. I want to perform a malware cloud lookup whenever there is a, I think there is a zip file. I can do for the zip, not a problem, but I'm looking for something if I can. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's do zip file. Do malware cloud lookup. Okay, if it's zip file, it's not it's not a valid contender for dynamic analysis because dynamic analysis capable are only these files. Or let's say for the docx, let's say docx. If it's a docx, perform local analysis, perform dynamic analysis. I don't want to use the Spiro because my firewall is not a exe. So these two analysis is fine for me. I'll say direction of transfer is download and save it. Now let's take another file type. I want PDF file this time. For a PDF file, I want block malware. And in order to reach a verdict whether this is a malware or not, you can do dynamic analysis and local analysis both. Okay. If it's not a exe, we don't need a Spiro. Okay. That's how you can. If you want to store this file, then you can select to store. I would never recommend storing a file with block malware action because in that case, you will be storing a malware on your FMC. Okay. I would say just block it. Later on, you can download it in some of the sandbox infrastructures there, which does not have any connections to your prod infrastructure or maybe any other infrastructure. It should be isolated environment. Now let's hit save. Yeah, it should be download. Application protocol and is fine. Fine. Now save it. Okay. Now the policy is ready with the rules for PPTX, MSEXE, DocX, and PDF. Our policy is now ready. Now let's apply it to a access control policy rule. I'll go to access control. I'll hit the edit button. And in terms of DNS and ICMP, no files are delivered. So I'm just gonna do it on this rule and I'll go inspection and I'll say file type control. I'll say file malware control. That's how you apply this policy. Hit the save button. I'll say file policy. Okay. And save. Now I'll deploy the changes and we are running out of time in this video. I'll show you in the next video how the files types behave when this Linux client will be downloading them from the internet because all of our rules are for download only. So thank you for your time for this video and have a good day and hope you guys are learning well. So happy learning.